don't have silence 101, quietness 102, stillness 103, but yet there's so much power in stillness. God said, be still and see the salvation that I will show you today. And at another time he says, be still and know that I am God. So that tells me there is power in stillness. When you are still, it quiets any chaos in your mind. It removes all the things that stem from fear, like worry and concern. It brings peace and calmness that Jesus promised us as we quiet ourselves with the Lord. When you are still, you can learn the attributes and nature and characteristic of the Lord. When you are still, answers come up to the problems you're facing. When you are still, your own emotions can be processed safely and correctly so that rationale can return. More can be said in silence than with 1,000 words. How many times have we read a novel and one of the characters in the novel is in conversation with someone and responds to many of their inquiries with silence? That tells us more about the person and more about the answer than if they chose words to use. A well-known musician named Victor Wooten said in his book that when he plays less within a band, he is saying more than if he were to play all throughout the particular song or composition. That if you were to listen to a particular track and heard all the instruments playing all the time at once and compared it to another track where some of the instruments come in and out and have a period of silence or rest, that will speak more to you than the previous one. If you watch gang members within a fight, I personally have not done this, but I've known people who have. They studied them and they said you'll see one that is still and silent, and you'll see the other one talking all this kind of stuff. And the one to really watch and be concerned about is the one that is still and silent, because he will strike without notice and he is serious about that particular incident. Whereas the other one is just using words to deflect his fear and hopefully deflect the other person's anger toward them. If you've taken any of the numerous quality training on sales, one of the most important things they'll teach you is the more a salesperson speaks within an interaction with a potential customer, the more they'll lose the sale. Silence is powerful, more powerful than we've realized and have been taught. How many times have we been praying to God for something and we do not hear an answer? We don't hear a yes or no or not now. We hear silence. In that silence, God is saying more to us than he would have if he spoke even one word. God's silence is his answer to us. And it's powerful and it brings us peace. Because in that time we're getting to know him. In that time we're realizing all the dimensions of what we're asking for. I believe God's silence is even more powerful than His words. Yes, the Bible says His words run swift in the earth. Yes, the Bible says His word is quick and powerful and sharper than a two-edged sword. Yes, it says His word will bring forth fruit and will not return to Him void. Yes, it is powerful. Yet His silence even more so. There's so much to be said in His silence. I believe we can hear more when we're silent and still. We can hear what is said and not said. We can see what is done and not done. We can perceive and understand better when we spend part of our day in silence and stillness. Yes, I know that there is some modern new age teaching that teaches people to meditate and clear their minds, etc. But unfortunately, they open up to demonic realms that they don't understand when they do this. They're not serving the same God we do. When we meditate, when we are still and silent and quiet and focus on the Lord, which is what Jesus taught Peter when he was walking on the water, that when you focus on me, you'll be able to do amazing, impossible feats. But when you look all around, that is when it won't be possible for you. So when we focus on the Lord, when the Lord is our intention, we are inspired to spend a quiet time in Him. That is when we will be blessed with more understanding, more perception, more answers, more wisdom. It is different from the meditation of the world. This one is safely done in God's presence, and you know He has nothing but goodness and mercy and grace over you as you do this. To spend some of her time during the day in silence, in stillness, in quietness before the Lord.